going to talk about something a bit boring, but it's something that Mary mentioned yesterday and Ofsted are picking out in lots of reports about marking and feedback. And in my school we've been looking not just at marking feedback, but marking feedback and response, giving students time to actually respond to what you say. So I'm just going to go through some ideas of how you can do this quickly, different techniques that we use at school. Obviously peer marking people are used to, but I've been really encouraging them to use the words of the mark scheme in their feedback. So like lots of you have at Excel, so they did a B question, and I don't know if you can see, but that peer mark in red, you've effectively developed your points, which is what you have to do in a B question. So I've encouraged them to peer mark, not only using the mark scheme, but also for literacy as well. So they use the school marking policy as well. I then check that with one of my little stamps of peer review assessed, because then I can check that their feedback is accurate, which is really important because last week I was checking and I found that this kid put good work mate after we'd discussed how we feedback. So the next lesson, I said, I'm feeding back on your feedback. And I said, what did we say we're going to put in the feedback for a B question? So it's a little bit of revision. And I teach them to PP and a B, it's just the easiest way for me. And this boy in the corner went, oh, it's like talking to a 3-year-old, PP and a B. And I said, that's interesting, because that was yours. You couldn't even describe in PP and a B. And then he was really embarrassed, and then I got them to redo that feedback. So it's really important that they're feeding back using the language of the mark scheme as well. Also, the big push on literacy. We get them to write a Key Stage 3 when they do assessments, their own literacy target, that they write there what they're going to focus on, and at the end, when they come to review it themselves, they say whether they've met their literacy target or not. We encourage them to use the actual school marking policy. So our policy is you squiggle and then you put SP. Now you can't see, but they have actually, when they then got the work back from their peer, they have actually amended it. And we have a green pen policy. I don't know if anybody else uses that. So all improvements have to be in green. So all the spellings have to be redone in green, and they have to add their additions in green as well. So I've got a big box of red and green pens, red for peer marking, green for improvements. You can see there, I'm also a big fan of stampers, because you're marking and saying the same thing over and over again. So I've had them made with the actual criteria from the exam board. So again, in a B question, if you use an example to develop your answer, then it gives it a developed reason. So I use the stamper, and then they go and green pen it, and I can see actually that they've taken on board what I've said, and they've put in an example to develop their reason. As I said, I make it really explicit, they PP and a B, so I PP on their work. Another technique that I've used, before they hand in work, particularly if it's a long essay, they use the mark scheme and the highlighter, and they have to completely colour in their essay, and that shows where all the different elements are. So actually, I know, so for example, the green is their conclusion. I know straight away what they've included in conclusion, and actually whilst they're highlighting it, they start to realise, I've actually forgotten to do that, which is brilliant for them, and actually it reduces your marking, because as long as they know what they're looking for, it's visual. I'm just going to skip that. Another thing that I was looking at last year is I started marking work, and I started writing on the work questions, and I thought, where are they actually going to write the answers? You know, I'm writing there, but there's no space. So I trialled with a group, and I was also writing questions on the assessment sheet that we used. So I actually trialled for every student, instead of writing feedback on their work, just getting a new piece of A4 and writing out targeted questions which would move them forwards. Now you think, okay, it's a class, but instead of me writing, well done, this was lovely, I just wrote 2-3 questions that would move their thinking on. So actually, I had a fully differentiated lesson. Every child was doing something different, because I'd written them different questions to respond to. And by them answering those questions, because they were specific to them, that moved on their thinking and their development. So by using the green pens, actually then you're ending up marking twice, which seems crazy. But actually, then what you can do is, you can see here I marked the first one, but this is the second set of marking. This is the first one, and then they developed it, and I gave the second set. So I can add to their work, because you've improved it, you've gained 5 marks. So actually you've moved forwards and given them the time to do that. And I just record it in my mark book to show progress. I know I'm running out of time. Couple of blogs. I follow this guy. He's got a really important blog on marking, and I've blogged about this. And the final thing is there's an RE Teach Meet on YouTube from Suffolk's RE Teach Meet last week. That's it.
Brilliant, thanks Dawn.